Jackson, did you kind of achieve a goal by getting to Bowie?
Absolutely. I came into spring training as this is my goal for the end of the year, and I've reached it. So now there's new goals. So who knows what can happen, but I'm excited to be here.
What are those new goals for the rest of the way?
I don't know. I want to have as good as a first half as a second half for sure. Just be able to help this team win as much as possible and contribute offensively and defensively.
Like you said, this was a goal for yourself, but did it happen quicker than maybe you expected?
Yeah, a little bit. I was just trying to play well, and if things happen, things happen. But trying to give the organization no reason to keep me down and just move up as fast as possible.
We're asking you about the experience in Seattle. What was some of the best things about it?
Just being able to meet some of the guys that are in the same division and same league that hopefully we'll be playing against each other for a long time. So getting to create relationships with those guys and being around guys like Heston a little bit more, and just the whole experience of seeing how talented guys are was really neat for me.
What was it like to ascend to the #1 prospect? Are you even more of a marked man? Has anything changed for you?
Personally, nothing really changes. We're still all in the minor leagues, and our goal is to make the big leagues. So it's really cool to be able to share that with some of the guys that are in the organization, and like Gunnar and Adley, and be able to kind of share that with them is neat for me. And but yeah, it's pretty neat to be the #1 prospect.
Beyond just simply getting here, what have you been most happy with your own play, your own development this year?
Yeah, just being able to overcome failure a little bit faster than I did last year. I know it was a short stint, but being able to bounce back has been very important. I didn't have a great month last month. I don't even know what month it is, but to be able to start this month a lot better in Greenville or Greensboro, where we were, has been very helpful, and just being able to handle failure a little bit better.
What is this experience like, just getting to go to the different affiliates, meet the different guys, but also experience the different parts of Maryland?
It's really neat. I've been driving all over the place, but to be able to just see different parts of Maryland is neat, and be able to meet lots of different guys and play with different players is always fun. To be able to create new friends is something that I enjoy, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Has this week in particular been as much of a whirlwind as any since you turned pro?
Luckily I got to go home to kind of help settle things down, but got to go home for a few days and just get into my off-season routine and hang with my brother and hang out, so that was good. It makes everything a little bit easier, but growing up in baseball, I've had some crazier days, for sure.
When you're at home, you might have better resources to deal with failure, but now as a pro, what are you using to deal with the failure that you just described, and obviously doing it better this year?
Obviously I can call my dad and kind of talk to him through things, but just not letting little things on the field kind of dictate that. If I watch film, it's the exact same swing. So just trying to see like little things and overcome things, and be able to challenge myself in the cages has been very helpful. Being able to make things harder, not during the game, so the game's a little bit easier, has been very helpful.
How's the feeling been stretching into the summer months deeper in than maybe you were ever used to back in high school?
It hasn't been too bad. I was able to work out 2 or 3 times a week in Aberdeen, so I think that's been very helpful. Just maintaining my strength has been very helpful to carry over during the games.
Is there any aspect of this experience that surprised you?
Honestly, not really. I moved into another apartment today, so that was fun. But I think it's #3 this year. I'm gonna start keeping track. So it's honestly all that I could have expected. But it's been great.
What do you think's allowed you to handle this as well as you have?
Honestly, growing up in baseball has been very helpful. Just the whole travel, and there's games every single night. I know I wasn't playing, but I was watching. So I think that part has been very helpful, and I think I have a solid base of how to handle things. I'm pretty laid back.
You mentioned being out of the Futures game, getting to know Heston a little bit. Just what were kind of your impressions of him, and just kind of what are your takeaways of him at this point?
Yeah, I got to spend a lot of time with him during spring training, and we hung out quite often and went to dinner, and he's very, very talented. Obviously, this is kind of his first full season because he's had some injury and health things, but he's so talented. I watched him play in college, so it's really neat to see what he's doing, and I'm very excited for him.
Jackson jumped in a little late here. Sorry if this has been asked already. I know it's been a goal of you to get up to Double-A this season. What's it mean to kind of make this next step and be here in Bowie today?
Yeah, it's awesome. This was my goal, and I'm glad that I was able to accomplish it, and now we're just going to keep playing and enjoying it.
What does today mean to you? How excited are you to take the field today out there in a Bay Sox uniform?
Yeah, I'm excited. I get to play with some guys that I haven't gotten to play with yet, so I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we can come out with a win.
And with all this excitement around the Orioles, so many guys, it's like it almost seems like a new prospect's getting called up to the majors every week. How excited are you to be a part of this movement, this youth movement, this star movement in the Orioles system?
Yeah, I'm very excited. It's really neat to see all the guys that are impacting the big league team at such a young age, and being able to hang out with them during spring training and do stuff off the field. It's really neat to see those guys succeed.
Do you have, the majors in mind for yourself this season? Do you think that's possible?
I don't know. I don't know what's possible and what's not possible. That would be quite something, but I wouldn't put it past myself at this point. So who knows?
What do you consider your best skill as a baseball player?
I try to impact the game in every aspect, but I think controlling the strike zone and being able to hit the barrel is something that I take pride in.
You look at the winter, Jackson, those coaches from the Orioles came out to work with you and you made some tweaks and so forth. And then when you took that into the season, the great numbers, where has the biggest gains been for you this year?
Yeah, I think whenever I'm making contact and I'm hitting the ball hard, it's at the right launch angle where I can get hits. So being able to kind of control that fly, I think we talked about that during the off season, but obviously I'm not the strongest guy, so I can't hit it straight up in the air, and hopefully it goes over the fence. So being able to just control where I hit the ball, and whenever I do, I'm hitting it hard.
So you've definitely seen direct results from that.
Yeah, honestly, compared to last year, it's been a lot better.
You obviously have, to that point, a lot more data information available to you here than I assume you did in Stillwater. What has that experience been like, and how has that stuff kind of benefited you?
Yeah, it's really neat to be able to see some things that like you can't see with your own eyes, like contact point and certain stuff like that. So being able to see that and see the pitches that I'm taking versus like I should be swinging at them. So stuff like that is very helpful, and kind of helps me create a better game plan.
What's your dad think about all this, your season, your rankings, everything good that's happened?
I think he's very proud. It's neat that he gets to kind of watch this all unfold. He texted me the other day. He's like, "This looks really fun. I wish I could still be doing that." And that's kind of neat for me, because sometimes like you get tired, and like I just think about that, how he got to play for so long and he still misses it so much. So that was really cool for me.
What does Ethan think of all of it?
He's a character. So I think he's pretty proud too. He texts me and quite often, and he's about to head down to Florida and continue his summer. So he's doing pretty well.
When your dad won the series, were you like 7? Or 6 or 7? Or
2011. Yeah, I don't even know.
how well do you remember it?
I remember it pretty well. I remember the last few innings we thought we were going to lose, so we went down to the family room, and we were just hanging out in there, and then all of a sudden David Freese hits a triple, and we're like, okay, well, we can't move. So we just sat down there, and it was really, really neat to experience that, and then we got to go to Boston, and it was a lot of fun. So hopefully we can do it again here in a few years.
Getting to be part of that moment back then, do you ever think back to that and think about how cool it might be, to do it here with Baltimore and do it yourself as a player?
Yeah, absolutely. All I knew growing up was the playoffs, so hopefully we can continue that.
To that extent, guys like you, drafted where you are, at times are expected to be saviors for organizations. The fact that you don't have to do that, and the club's already made a lot of advanced progress, How do you look at that, and then obviously being able to join that type of organization that eventually when you get there, you could be one of the guys and not necessarily have to be a savior with almost every at-bat?
Yeah, it's neat. It's neat to have such a talented group that you can just go up there and you feel part of the team. And they made me feel like that during spring training, even though it's only my first year. So I'm looking forward to the day that I get to go up there and help contribute.
Jackson, is there anyone at these past couple stops, a player who stood out to you who maybe doesn't get a whole lot of attention?
I think guys like Brady House. Brady House was pretty impressive. I played against him in low A and high A. I know he's like their second or third prospect, but he was pretty talented.
When you went through June and the stats weren't what they were earlier, again, expected, it's baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But for you, who almost never had stats like that, what was that like to go through? And I'm sure there were a lot of benefits of it.
Yeah, it's definitely helpful. I think failure is definitely important. It's very important. And yeah, there were some games where I was hitting the ball hard and just right at people, and some games where I couldn't even touch the ball. So just being able to overcome that and kind of go through it, I think is very important and very valuable.
Right. What did you learn about overcoming?
I think I've gotten better at it. I think just taking it at bat to bat versus game to game was very helpful. And sometimes I struck out twice to start the game and then ended the game with 3 hits. So that's something that I'm going to take in and continue to work on.
It hasn't quite been a year yet since you were drafted. Does that time feel like it? Does that feel right? Does it feel like it went quick? Just how are you kind of feeling in terms of the pace?
It does. It does feel like it's gone quick so far. It's kind of crazy to think about. I got drafted almost a year ago today, and I feel like the season was pretty much over whenever I got called up to Delmarva. So it's closing in fast, but it's been a good season so far.
Even though you played at a really high level of amateur baseball, it's been the greatest transition now that you've had plenty of data points to see on the professional level. It's been the biggest difference for you.
I think just honestly the pitching is definitely different. Like you get like certain quality guys in summer ball, like some guys that are getting drafted in the first and second round, and then it just kind of falls off, versus here it's the same every single time. There's always guys that are really talented and they all have a pitch or 2 pitches that got them to where they are now. So it's more fun for me because it's challenging, and I'm someone who likes to compete, so it's been a lot of fun.